Everyone, my
At
name is
least in
Mazes, okay?
2023,
And
the majority of
welcome
his votes were
to this
traditional,
evening.
structured
Well,
votes.
this
You
is
then
early
ask
morning
yourself,
now,
why
so
didn't
it's
he
no
also
longer
pull out his
evening.
people
Here
on the
in
streets? The
Nigeria,
answer will
it is
be that
now early
having the
morning.
elites alone without having
Today
the
is
massive,
now Tuesday,
following and organic,
the 27th
grassroots support
January
also amounts to nothing. So it's a
2026.
game of
And
I have
I
this,
say
you
to
have
you,
this.
welcome to
Can we
you.
both join?
I welcome you this
Excuse
evening
me. Can we both come together,
my
find the common
program
ground,
that
and
was
forge ahead?
that
But
was
I also
meant
I
to
think
have
I need
happened
Umar
earlier
to
than now,
respond because
but sadly,
it's wrong when you just
due to
say
unforeseen
things that
circumstances, it didn't happen until now. Okay, so how are we today? Let's know where you are joining us from. Let me know where you are joining me from. It would be nice to know where you are joining me from. Okay, so okay, once more. So let me start by saying that the Anambra. Let me start by saying that the Anambra State Governor, had basically done what many of us had asked him and had pushed that he did in the so many, in so many months ago. I know when the Enugu State Governor, Peter Mba, came up and said that the madness. You see, I don't care if many of you get angry that I call the sit-at-home madness because it's pure madness, insanity. In fact, it is done by idiots. There is, I don't know, which words to use to qualify that. It is pure madness, insanity. That's what it is, right? And I'm glad that Professor Chukwumachao Soludo have lived up to expectation to today say that if you do not open your shop, that um, he's going to close the market, and he has closed the market. Now, I put a caveat here. I support the fact that he is forcing the people to come out because there is no other way we can do that. But the only thing that I am putting a caveat is if people must be forced to come out, we must saturate the whole place with security agents that when these homegrown terrorists, they are terrorists. Anybody enforcing sit at home is a terrorist. So when these homegrown terrorists come out, then the security agents should be able to deal with them. I mean, do not apologize for that because that's what they are. They should be dealt with, right? So here is Professor Soludo on what he said and what led to the closing of Onitsha main market.
How they are joining these things will be locked down for the whole of this week. There will be no market anywhere here. Are you hearing me? Each Monday will come. Each Monday will come and inspect. If people are not in their respective shops, it will be shut down again. If you like, I don't mind shutting down my market for the remainder of this year. I'm just from Oka. Everywhere is open. And people are going about their businesses. Then you come down to Onitsha. Come down to main market. The once reputed market as the largest market in West Africa. Okay?
yes, sir.
I have just driven all the way from the junction with Ose to this place. Through much of Johnson, I've seen through Johnson, I've seen through Bright, and the shops locked up. I've peeped inside.
You can imagine
A few persons here and there. I know that people have done this sit at home on Mondays for quite some time now. And as they say, an abomination that lasts a year becomes culture. No, this can no longer go on in Anambra. You either decide that you want to.
look, if you ever come to this shop, this area on a normal day, these places are littered with human beings. activities. Ndibo, we have been losing trillions. We have been losing trillions. We have only 5 states. We are almost the size of one state in North Central called Kogi State. One state. We are slightly, just slightly bigger than one single state in Southwest or your state. So what is wrong with us that in the name of whatever you're trying to do, you just basically lock yourself up, hurting yourself because you're not hurting any other person? The sit at home is nothing but madness. And I am glad, I am so happy that Professor Chukwumacha has taken the right decision to say that this madness called sit at home.
Trade here or you can go elsewhere. This main market, if you don't want it open, I'll come and take bulldozer and level it. Are you hearing me? And I'm very, very serious about it. I'm not joking. Going forward, any Monday, any shop that is not open will be locked for 1 week. And let me tell you this. As I'm speaking to you now, when I finish this whole main market and all the adjoining these things will be locked down for the whole of this week. There will be no market anywhere here. Are you hearing me? Yes, each Monday will come and inspect. If people are not in their respective shops, it will be shut down again. If you like, I don't mind shutting down the market for the remainder of this year. If you don't like it, go elsewhere and trade. But if you are here, we're not going to allow this. It's plain economic sabotage. And also, we suspect whoever closes their shop to have some criminal intent. Those who shut down their shop, who lock up their shops on Mondays, are saboteurs, and we suspect them of having criminal intent. Now, this market is shut down. I've come here with the Commissioner of Police. I'm here with the Commissioner of Police and with the security agency. You see the soldiers. Instance for the first 1 week. If we come on Monday and it is locked and any shop is not, we'll lock it for 1 month. No, no, even now, onye choice of your beer, onye choice of your Anambra is open to everybody. Everybody is welcome to trade in Anambra. But if you must trade here, you must abide by the rules. And the rules are that markets are open Monday to Saturday.
Simple as that. If you want to trade, you stay in Anambra. If you don't want to trade, you are free to go home. That's what the message that Professor Chukwumacha Soludo basically passed there. Now, I have a friend who put what has happened. I will just take an excerpt here. I have a friend who had put what had happened, who had put what has happened so perfectly. Hold on, let me quickly, where is the number group? I'll read an excerpt so that we understand the point being made. I mean, you can go to Ginger Media as well. I think, let me see, I think Ginger Media actually published it. Hold on. Let me see. Ginger Media. I think Ginger Media published it. So let's see if we can show it on the screen from Ginger Media, and that would probably make more sense. Okay. Yes. I think I've seen it now. Just bear with me. And by the way, while we are talking, Wike ran away from Abuja today. Protesting civil servant pursued Wike. Wike ran. And Wike ran. Right? Okay. So let me quickly share this. Share this particular one. And we can see what I mean here. So this young man here made an excellent point that I think should be heard by all. He made an excellent point. Let me take the point that he made here. Okay. So let's take that. He wrote that reclaiming Mondays, leadership, commerce, and end of Anambra's most expensive delusion, Uzo Ukebu. That is delusion. That is what it is. The sit at home is nothing but delusion of grandeur, the highest level of delusion. The continued insistence on the ritualized Monday sit at home in Anambra State has moved beyond protest, beyond symbolism, and certainly beyond reason. What remains is an empty self-inflicted paralysis, an exercise in economic self-harm, sustained by habit, fear, and intellectual laziness. It is neither resistant nor strategy. It is stagnation dressed up as purpose. Governor Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo decisive action fears against these fears deserve not just commendation but empathic support. By keeping the affected market closed until next Monday, the governor has drawn a firm line between legitimate civic expression and outright economic sabotage. This is not an economic response, it is a calculated governance decision rooted in logic, history, and an understanding of how economies function, right? They say, just like Eneken Tioba, when the butterfly flies without perching, then the hunter must learn to fire without aiming. Now he continues, he says, let us be honest, if only for a moment. What exactly is the sit at home achieving? And this is a question every Onibo must ask. What exactly are we achieving with sit at home? No concession secured. No coherent demand met. No strategic leverage gained. Year after year, the same script. We have been on this madness and nonsense for 5 years. Year after year, no leverage achieved. No strategic, anything embedded in it. No coherent demand. Nothing secured. The same script. Markets are, shuttered. Streets emptied. Fear recycled. Why suppose beneficiary grow poorer and the state bleeds revenue? Those who, out of this madness, will tell you sit at home or somebody will buy you. They live abroad. Every Monday they will go to work in America, in London, in the United Kingdom, in Germany, in Spain. Every Monday, those that will sit abroad saying those here must sit at home every Monday. They go to work. What manner of hypocrites are they? Very, very irritating. Leadership requires courage to say that others will not, to say what others will not. You cannot repeatedly shut down your own economy and expect progress. Exactly. Stagnation. No society in history has ever prospered by voluntarily switching itself off one day every week. I will now add, including Sunday, it makes it 2 times a week. That is pure insanity. Nigeria's GDP grows on Monday. Lagos thrives on Monday. Kano hums on Mondays. Yet Anambra, once the commercial nerve center of the country, is expected to applaud its own immobilization as ideological purity. That is not resistance. That is, a regression. If you know what it means that every Sunday, all of us will be running away. We are leaving Anambra and we are heading into Asaba to go and sleep in Asaba. Maybe catch a flight on Monday and that's it, you go. For how long? We built houses in the villages. We should be able to, stay in the villages, move around every Monday. But as of now, it's not happening because of fear that we have homegrown terrorists, our own brothers, our own sisters, our own brothers. Those we know, those that grew up in our state, because they can come and deal and shoot and kill and people will be online saying, "Oh, the sit-at-home must continue." Thunder when one day sit-at-home must continue while you sit back in Italy and United Kingdom and go to work every Monday and get paid. So let's start with. We must also enforce that, Professor Soludo. It should go beyond just Ndimen market. You must begin to sit every Monday. The Anambra House of Assembly must also sit. If they do not sit next Monday, no salary. Teachers must go to school. Students must go to school. Not only the market. Motor park must open. So now you have started it. We will make sure that you do not stop only with the market. Else, it will be that you're just taking, only the traders. Nnewi is not left out. Ekulobe is not left out. Of course, Oka is always open. Go to Aba. Go to Aba. Aba is open, though scantily in some areas in Aba. But Aba is open. Omaha is bubbling. You will never think that there is anything like sit-at-home in Omaha. But Anambra, Ndeji Malaha, Ndeji Ahia Wemalu, and adults will now want to sit at home. Sometimes I'm in the village. People will think that sit at home day on Mondays are days that they will come around to say whether they want to drink alcohol. I'm like, are you guys nuts? You do not begin your week with drinking alcohol. Who does it? How can you just change your Monday, that is the beginning of the week, with when you ought to have so much energy? You only change it and you want to stay at home. That is pure insanity. There is no better word that I can use to say that is insanity. Now, Mr. Cable continues. There was a time when this argument would have sounded absurd. Over 40% of imported goods in Nigeria once passed through Onitsha. Pay attention, once passed through Onitsha. Feeding markets across the Federation and beyond. It feeds Lagos, Cameroon, and multiple West African trade routes. Mondays were not days of silence, they were days of scale. Onitsha was not a ghost town, it was a logistical engine. To deliberately suffocate such a system on a weekly basis is not principled. It is reckless, and I will add, it is also idiotic. Those few traders who still choose to participate in the charade must understand that the world has moved on, and so has Anambra State government. Professor Soludo has made it clear that governance will no longer indulge economic hostage taking cloaked in sentiment by temporarily shutting markets to enforce discipline. The government is saying in plain terms, if you will not protect the collective economy of Anambra, the state will do that. This is what leadership looks like when it refuses to be bullied by incoherence. Leadership is not about indulging every loud position. It is about defending the silent majority whose livelihood are destroyed by those Monday shutdown, the transporters, apprentices, artisans, daily traders, families who pay the real price for this nonsense. And I add, it is madness. Sit at home has become a retrogressive ritual with no destination. Its answer, it answers no urgent question, advances no credible cause, and solves no real problem. Its only measurable outcome is economic loss. Weekly, predictable, and cumulative. Professor Soludo's action is therefore not just justified, it is overdue. It signifies a reset. Anambra will be governed as a serious entity, not a theater of performative disruption. The message is unambiguous. Economic sabotage, whatever language it hides behind, is no longer acceptable in Anambra State. This is not tyranny. This is not insensitivity. This is leadership reclaiming reason from ritual. And in the Anambra will be better for it. When I read this, when it was shared in the platform where many of us are, who is who in Anambra, and I agreed with this before we published it, and I responded actually. And here is my response. Let me read out my response. My response is, I totally agree with this submission. When Governor Mba firmly said no to the sit-at-home madness, some people protested and resorted to name-calling. History has since proven that leadership sometimes requires taking unpopular but necessary decisions. Governor Sukuma Charles Soludo should be supported to take whatever decisive action that is required to end the sit-at-home menace. The continued disruption of economic and social life only punishes innocent citizens and weakens the region. In enforcing this position, it is, however, crucial that adequate security measures are put in place to confront any homegrown terrorist or criminal element who may attempt to sabotage the effort by instilling fear. The right of law-abiding citizens of Anambra to live, work, and trade freely in Anambra must at all costs be protected. Myself, that was my response. And I say, it is a response that I wrote from my heart because, this is for over 4 years I've been shouting. Many people who've been following me know that I call it madness, and there is no better way to say it. It is madness. I said this 5 years ago, said it 4 years ago, and I'm still saying it now that the sit at home, Monday sit at home, is madness. It can only be enforced by terrorists, and that we cannot accept. It is nothing but madness, right? And again, I join others to say to Professor Soludo, thank you very much for really, getting a grip on that. Right. As we are talking, the next point now is that as we are talking, many of you probably didn't know that your president is no longer in Nigeria. Your president has gone to Turkey, Turkey. Then the president has gone out. President is in Ankara now in Turkey. He's gone for another meeting. People are saying, why do we actually have a president to live in Nigeria? Why does he not just move? Let him just move to maybe, I don't know, in any country in Europe and let him be visiting us. This is a president that just came because you know, he's been away for 21 days. He just came back. Suddenly, he's away again. And this is when they were receiving him in Ankara.
Yeah, open it, please. Sajid. Go. I didn't get it, bro. You get it? Yeah, let's go. Welcome. Let's go.
So that's your president there, right? That is your president there. Now, on the other one, I keep wondering, why do adults, whenever the president is going out of the country, adults in form of governors will line up in Abuja, and in the guise of saying farewell to the president, they will line up in Abuja and just to shake hands with him. Here you have Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State and Yeson Wike. Something happened. That was when Tinubu was leaving. Something funny happened here. Honestly, we are trying to get exactly what Tinubu said to Wike, but here Wike, you can see, was almost panicking, because I believe he ran away from the riot and went straight to the airport to say bye-bye to the president. Just watch this. I wish we knew what the president said. You can see I wish we knew what he said to him. Just watch again. You can see how nervous and jittery Wike was. You can see how nervous and jittery Wike was, right? Now, but there was another video that actually showed where they were, the staff of the Federal Capital, what's it called again? That in Abuja, members of the Joint Union Action Committee and the Nigerian Union of Teachers moved to intercept Yeson Wike at the Federal Capital Secretariat today. It was actually it was a funny sight, because the way they were running after Wike, as if they caught Wike today, they might have actually beaten him black and blue. It means that they are not happy with him, so they would have beaten him bala blue today. Look at what happened here. So they blocked the entrance. They are not doing everything. They have cited Wike.
This is the reaction of JUA members and also the FCT teachers running towards the second gate of the FCTA, chasing Wike, that's the minister of the FCT, car.
Did you hear that? The reporter said they were chasing Wike because it's, remember during the presidential election tribunal in Abuja, remember the man who was a man who was by name Arabambi? No, not Arabambi. Apampa. With the famous interview I had with Kenneth Okonkwo, who called him Mr. Pampas. Okay. So Apampa didn't know that Nigerian youth were not happy with him. And he came to court. They greeted him good morning, good afternoon, and good evening at the same time. So Wike appears to be lucky, because the way this staff, the way they were running, it appears they were about to go and greet him, good afternoon, sir, and warn for the road before he goes to the airport. But if you hear, pay attention what the reporter said. He said that they were running and rushing to go and greet Wike.
This is the reaction of JUA members and also the FCT teachers running towards the second gate of the FCTA, chasing Wike, that's the minister of the FCT car, because obviously he's using the back gate to exit the building while they block the front gate. So right now they're running towards him to block the exit. This is happening right here live at the FCTA Secretariat.
And you can even hear police officers saying, Wike don't run, you know the shame. And you can hear somebody also on the background who was singing, ole, 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 ole. So it's quite embarrassing to know that a minister of the FCT would actually be running away or be whisked away by those who he ought to be governing. I think we have a better video as well that I can share with us the moment this incident in Abuja occurred. Just pay attention here and pay attention what the people are saying on the background.
See him running out. See him speaking out. See him speaking out. See Wike speaking out. See him running. See him running. Ole! 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 See Wike running. See him running. See him running. Wike is running. Catch him! Catch him! Catch him! Catch him! Catch him! Ole! 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 See him running out. See him speaking out. See him speaking out. See Wike speaking out. See him running. See him running. Ole! 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 See Wike running. See him running. See him running. Wike is running. Catch him! Catch him! Catch him! Catch him! Catch him! Ole! 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 See him running.
So what do you what do you think they would have done had they caught up with him? Because they are saying that it was. So you can tell me in the comment section what you think they would have done if they caught up with him. While we are saying that, the state of Kano State officially, since today, officially, last night, they changed, I think we published the video last night, they changed the flag of NMPP and removed that and put in the flag of the APC. And today, the governor officially now joined the APC, right? Maybe we might begin to understand that Buhari may have been prophetic when he said this, that APC was going to be
APC, Nigeria, from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
So, top to bottom. And in our top to bottomness, now we have this. So Nigeria said Tinubu, but for me, road no go there. The people will spoil the road, they no agree.
5 days it is a road. I know go back, I know go front. I know Giri make you go back. I know Giri make you come. The road you don't spoil. The people ask I know Giri make you open the road. While I too no back, no foot, nothing. Government no look at the people. What you call government be this? I beg government the beg pays.
So the wildlife too much, and you can see it honestly that Kano is now APC. Let's listen to the speech made by the Kano state governor as he basically mounted the podium.
Especially for the team in neutral Kano State. By the industries we will revive, by the peace we will secure, and the opportunities we will open for our youth. My loyalty is unwavering. It belongs first to Kano State and its people. Kano first, Kano first, Kano first than any other. In the spirit of stability, inclusion, and long-term thinking, I wish to announce another important step that we are taking today. I am approving the establishment of the Kano Elders Council. Kano Elders Council is going to be a non-partisan advisory body of respected statesmen, elders.
Anyway, I think that statement, the last statement that he made, is for those who are political neotypes. If you believe that he is going to be establishing the Kano Elders Council and is going to be apolitical, then you may have something, I have an airport to sell to you, right? In this case, what that means is, because if you look, he is now, in 2023, he was with Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso made him governor. He was against the former governor, that is Ganduje, right? Ganduje was his opponent because Ganduje then is in APC while he is in NMPP, right? But now, suddenly, he is in APC with Ganduje. He is now Ganduje's godson. And Ganduje opened up his mouth today to say that nobody is going, that they've made an arrangement, nobody's going to contest against the governor or contest with him in 2027. That is absurd. So you see that the fear of Kwankwaso is why they are trying to, bribe. I mean, there is no other way. They're trying to bring some elders together and give them money, bribe them, give them money, bribe them for them to come to his side. Story has it, this is unconfirmed report. Unconfirmed report has it that each governor that leaves, I think Punch published it or so, allegedly that every governor that leaves his party into the APC is given 250 billion allegedly. I do not know. We haven't seen the check, but there are informations out there that every governor that leaves his party and goes into the APC receives 250 billion. Then you ask yourself, if you pay that to 4 governors, that is 1 billion. If you pay that to 8 governors, that is 2 billion. If you pay that to 12 governors, that is 1 trillion, 2 trillion, and 3 trillion. It's unbelievable. Just to win an election. I will conclude with this. Any person who gives you money to convince you to vote for him in order to govern you will never work for you. Anyone who gives you money to convince you to vote for him in order to govern you will never work for you. He will never stand for your interest. That's why Nigerians, if we want to survive, we must begin to put in our effort. We must begin to put in our resources, and we must collaboratively begin to come together to ensure that this culture of impunity, of just buying people over, that must stop. We've started it. It is a movement, and we must continue. I am Mazi Zoke. Thank you very much for being my guest today. Good night from here.